I'm taking a strap. I'm strapped up.
What's happening? What was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 243 of the Stretch Season podcast. I'm your boy Kam.
Flowz.
And as always, guys, you know the drill by now. He's head over to our Instagram page, which is Stretch Season Podcast, and Twitter page, Stretch Season Pod. Or it could be the other way around, I can't remember. But yeah, make sure you go to one of those sites, guys. And there's a link in the bio of both of those pages that will take you to where we're situated at streaming-wise. So audio, if you want audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so on, those links are there. Visuals, YouTube channel link is there. And if you guys have been paying attention, listeners, you would see that, we sort of delved into the short form content. The link to the TikTok page is also there as well, guys. So make sure you do that for us, guys. Hit us up on TikTok, share, repost. I don't know how it works really, but I think it's like a reposting thing or resharing. Make sure you do that for us. We're unks, man. We're trying, Flowz. We're trying it. It's not easy, man, being an uncle.
We'll get there.
But yeah, man, Flowz, hope you're good anyways.
Yeah,
Uncles
man,
aside. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm always excited. I've always got a bit of pep in my step, right, when it comes to Boots Fight Week, bro. As I've said many times in this pod, he's my favorite fighter in the world. And I just want my boy to shine. And boy, did he shine, Flowz. I woke up for this fight. I was there, live and centered, watching Boots face an opponent that, was earmarked to give him a bit of trouble, potentially tricky opponent. His first unification, his first, I guess, time, right, in fighting for a belt. Because if we think about it, bro, he was unfortunately an emo champion. Not his fault, is what it is. So this is actually his actual first time in fighting for actual belt. So it was, a lot of, I think, just landmarks for him, bro. But I desperately wanted him to have a good performance. But I felt that, last fight as we previewed the pod or previewed the fight, I felt like he was going to beat Stanionis. I think he's got more notches in his arrow, more to speak. He's got more in his duffel bag. But also, I think Stanionis' style would be tailor-made for Boots. But yeah, man, what can I say, man? We look on this pod, we earmarked Boots from early. When we started this pod, I'm pretty sure, like, when we first started this pod, like, the first couple episodes, we mentioned Boots' name. We've been on the Boots. This ain't a bandwagon thing over here, bro. This ain't no bandwagon. We've been early with Boots, and we've said from early, Jerron Boots Ennis is the truth. We believe he's going to be the truth. And I think it's fair to say, bro, that last night was probably one of his best or the best performance to date of his career. He destroyed, beat up, demolished, however you want to cut and dice it, a very, very good welterweight in Elementis Stanionis. And the scary part for me, bro, is simple. He kind of made it look very easy. Didn't have to get out of first gear. It was mad. He started styling and profiling and treating Stanionis from round 3, to be honest. Started showboating from round 3. It was that easy. So yeah, man. I think I've waxed lyrical enough about Boots in this pod. I will continue to wax lyrical. People need to be in tune. You mentioned the hate train last week. I think I saw some of that last night. I mean, when I was reacting live, I was live tweeting the fight, and I've seen the hate train that you spoke about. So yeah, you're right, bro. It's real. It's very, very real.
Yeah.
But yeah, amazing. Yeah, what are your thoughts before we delve into the the meat and bones of it? Just what are your thoughts on the performance, bro, and just Boots in general?
Yeah. Look, we're Boots fans on this pod.
Yeah.
I mentioned the hate train.
You did.
Which has been growing and growing. And my question was, will he get the credit he deserves off the back of this? Let's talk about the fight, and then we'll get into
okay, cool.
Let's get the credit. We'll get into the feedback from the fans. Yeah.
So the fight itself, bro, like I said, I felt like obviously styles make fights in this game, as we know. And I just felt Stanionis being the type of fighter he is, a pressure fighter, ramrod jab, but likes to apply pressure, steps to you, cuts the ring off, and once he's in front of you, he tends to just let his hands go. with combinations, all off the back of a jab. But I said that pressure style, Boots is someone that who've seen this in his young career so far, can fight in a myriad of different styles, right, bro? If he wants to be on the front foot or action, he can do that. If he wants to sit in the pocket with you, he can do that. If he wants to fight on the back foot and counter you, he can do that. He does everything to a very high level. So I said, boy, Stanionis, you're going to come forward and try and pressure this guy. It's not going to be good for you because Boots got better timing, better speed, better power. He's going to pick you off and counter you. Stanionis was stepping to Boots, but it wasn't good pressure at all, to be honest, bro. It was bad pressure. It was the type of pressure which I don't like at all when he was kind of staying in front of Boots, not moving his head, no lateral movement, nothing, just staying right in front of Boots and not really letting his hands go. And a large part of that, I think, was due to what Boots was doing that negated what Stanionis was trying to do. Boots was fighting from round one, behind the jab, firing that jab out. It was varied, usually to the body, jabbing to the body, jabbing to the face, jabbing behind the guard, and then throwing hooks behind the guard. And it was really just upsetting the rhythm of Stanionis because he couldn't get any work off. Bear in mind, Boots, who, as we said, is a weight bully, you saw the size difference in the ring, looked ridiculous, looks miles bigger than him in terms of height and just reach. So Stanionis couldn't really figure out the Boots jab. But also, whenever Stanionis tried to apply pressure and cut the ring off, Boots' footwork was so good that he was able to spin out of trouble. Just kind of, spin out of the way of trouble, try and break that pressure, break that press. And that footwork, I think, made it even trickier for Stanionis because up until last night, he definitely wouldn't have fought someone that had the skills that Boots possesses. The footwork, the IQ, the shot selection, all that kind of stuff. So honestly, bro, from round two, as early as round two, I was thinking to myself, Stanionis looks a bit befuddled here. Because this is the lowest output I've seen from Stanionis before. From the fights I've watched him, he's a high output fighter, but he's barely able to throw. He's not throwing as much as he used to. He's not combination as he used to. And I just think he made it a bit easier for Boots in the fact that he was very static and he wasn't really moving his head. That was my take early on. I'll let you jump in.
What I liked was the intent to go to the body from Boots. He made that intention clear early on. So he wasn't just firing out the jab and activity with letting his hands go. A lot of fighters can take a leaf out of his book from just purely letting your hands go. Jabbing, throwing shots. But the clear intention to the body was like, I'm going to break you down and get you out of it. Exactly. That's what I saw. And look, I said last week that Stanionis would be his toughest opponent. Now, Boots made it look easy. But I was thinking back and I was like, look, he makes everyone look easy. It's when he doesn't really rate you that you start to question, did he have a bit of trouble there? But in reality, he didn't. He doesn't have trouble against anyone, really. But Stanionis was catching him. He had some success in there. But once again, particularly you've said this, when he doesn't rate you, he lets you get shots off almost. Because he knows he can take your power. And I felt like as the fight kept going, Boots got more comfortable in there. And when he wanted to be evasive and make Stanionis look silly and make him miss, he was doing that as well.
He was taking a piss, by the way. He was taking a piss. He started, doing the whole look at the ring,
going like this with his hands, dance,
taking an absolute piss.
So from round three, he was like, I don't. This is a wrap for round three. Even earlier on, to be fair, this is a wrap now. And then I think we get to obviously the fight stops in end of round 6, start of round 7. But there's the knockdown in round 6.
So you said he made it clear from the jump that he was going to go to the body. He made two things clear from that. So the first one was the body work, but also I think within the first 30 seconds he threw the uppercut, as in he was looking for the uppercut. And that uppercut was money all night, really, because Stanionis was fighting with a high guard, right? Very, very high guard, and we've seen the high guard defense be effective if used right. But one thing about the high guard defense, that style of defense, is the fact that it tends to leave your body open for body shots. So yeah, it's very smart from Boots' side to invest in the body super early. I guess recognizing the fact that this guy is a guy who fight with a high guard. He's going to march forward with a high guard. And when I say marching forward, like I said, Stanionis wasn't really moving his head. He wasn't making it difficult for Boots at all. So yeah, that was there. But also the high guard, as we've seen in boxing, can be split very, very well with the uppercut. So just from the jump, you can see Boots is a thinking fighter and he's got high IQ. So he was shooting for an uppercut early. And yeah, it found its mark. Even when the knockdown, part of it was, I think he landed like 4 uppercuts in a row.
6, bro.
Was it 6? Yeah, it was bare. It was bare uppercuts in a row.
He was spamming the uppercut.
Bammed the uppercut, and it finally dropped him. Um, uh, let me quickly come back to, because before we wrap, let me quickly come back to, like I said, the critique, right? And the fact that he did get caught with some big shots.
Yeah.
Give Stanionis credit. We know Stanionis is a good fighter. He wasn't going to quit. He wasn't going to, he's going to attempt. And there has been critique, as we said in the past, of Boots being hittable. And I've said that I just think he fights to level his opponent. And if he doesn't rate you, he will take chances because he is first and foremost, despite him being supremely skilled, he's a knockout artist. He is a knockout artist. And look, we know in this game, to knock someone out, that means you're going for those big shots and you're going for it. And it's part and parcel of it. If you give, you're going to take. That's how it is. If you're a knockout artist, you're reaching more for those money shots, shall I say, those big shots. And that's going to leave you open, which good fighters can exploit. And there was once or twice or 3 times where Stanionis landed some good, strong right hands. Again, I think it's testament for the fact that Boots has got a really good chin, which people I think are realizing now that he's got a serious chin. But as you said, bro, there were times where he was looking to show his evasiveness and his defense, and Stanionis wasn't really hitting him. But the times where he wanted to open up, he became a bit more hittable. It still annoys me a little bit because I know he can be that just like amazing evasive fighter. But I've accepted the fact that once he's comfortable, bro, he gets lazy. He will drop his hands and he will start playing around and having fun. And you might call it a bad habit. Cool. But I think he's just gauging the fact that, look, I don't think this guy has enough power to do that with me. I don't think he will do that against a Bud, for example. Honestly, I really don't.
Yeah.
Unless he's killing him. But I really don't think. I just felt like, look, from early as round 2 or 3, he knew that this guy, he can't hurt me. So, yeah, that was it, man. I think.
Stanionis is good. He's going to land shots on anyone. So, I wouldn't read too much into it. But we know the hate train lot. Yeah, they love it. But
cool.
Look, with the stoppage,
let's go to the stoppage.
Once someone throws 6 shots in quick succession, 6 of the same shot in quick succession, then you know the fight's almost a wrap at that point.
Yeah.
6 uppercuts.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
So we've seen him completely break down Stanionis, right? As in, he's shown a very good example of how to break a fighter down, starting from the body work. It always takes its toll. It always pays. So from that round 6, you're seeing him land those big body shots, and we're seeing Stanionis take a step back. I'm like, oh, he's hurt. So obviously, Boots being the finisher that he is, goes for the kill, spams those 6 uppercuts. We've seen that Stanionis, drop. I'm sure I don't know, it might be the first time we've seen him go down before. Well, that first time I've seen Stanionis go down. I haven't seen him in other fights go down, but yeah. And yeah, I mean, I said the round before I tweeted that I think Boots is going to knock this guy out because it's looking peak for Stanionis. His face was all mashed up, bloodied nose, probably a broken nose. But yeah. And then Boots is already sort of celebrating and taking, like I said, he's treating him. He's showboating, he's taking the piss, he's really showing, flexing all his skills. And then, Stanionis has gotten up. There's about 10, 15 seconds left of the round. Boots goes for the kill, runs out of time, essentially. Bell goes. Stanionis goes back to his corner. And then next thing we know, we hear that the fight's being stopped. So obviously they've spoken to Stanionis in his call, do you want to continue? He's basically said no mas. And that's all she wrote. So, yeah, man, it was a systematic beatdown, bro. Made easy of a very, very good welterweight fighter, a fellow champion. And Boots wasn't even tested in there, man. He wasn't tested in it. It was easy work. Genuinely, bro. Easy work. And this was tabled as his toughest fight at welterweight. So that says how. Now the critiques, the haters, bro. Because some people, like I said,
they disagree with you.
Yeah.
Or some of them.
Look, the thing is, we outlined some of the potential criticisms of this fight last pod, right? We did mention how Stanionis has been inactive compared to Boots, which is true. That's fair. And I said inactivity in this game does kill. So, yes, ideally, would have been nice for Stanionis to be a bit more active. Even if he was as active as Boots, he's not beating Boots. Simple. Is what it is. He just doesn't look. He's basic compared to Boots. He's basic. Sorry to say, Boots has just got way too much in his arsenal. But yes, Stanionis has been inactive. I will say that. They're complaining, I guess, obviously about the fact that Boots got hit a few times with some big shots. Again, I just think this is Boots being lazy, and he knew that he had this guy's number, so it is what it is. But yeah, now they're going to call into question, obviously, resumes and the fact that, Stanionis is a nobody, this, that. Yeah, okay, cool. Yes, he's not Bud. Bruce is not going to be fighting Bud every week. Come on, man. Yeah. Right. He's got to stop with someone. Look, he's beating what's in front of him. The guy's a champion. He's unified with the division and done it. He's done it a great job. Looked great doing it. Allow it, man. Chill. The big fights will come. We know this. But for now, we're saying what we see, and we saw a masterclass. That's it, man.
It's so funny. I didn't watch the fight live, so I went on Twitter as you do. First thing. And I thought Boots lost because of the feedback. My first thought was that Boots lost because obviously Boots has no defense. And
oh my gosh.
And whatnot. And then I saw the hate trade still active. And then I see Boots, it's an easy fight, and Boots got him out of there. And I start to see the fanfare from the Boots fans.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. But what I have also seen is that some of the hate train lot starting to hold their hands up.
All right, okay.
Because like you said, a lot of the boxing fans were very pleased by this fight. So I think some of the boxing fans who were haters have held their hands up and said, I've even seen people saying, humble pie for me. Boots is the real deal. And people just with the performance and coming around again because he got a lot of flack for the Karen. Those two fights. And now he's in there with some of boxing fans rate in the Stanionis.
Yeah.
And he's kind of washed him.
He has washed him. It's not he killed him, bro.
So they're starting to give him credit, but they're still leaning on, okay, he got hit a few times, he got hit. So there's some criticism there across the board.
Yeah.
But then there's the ones who are still hated, who are saying Stanionis was old, he's a bum.
Yeah.
Who's went life and death in there. He would get
life and death is crazy.
They're still doing that.
Yeah.
So I think my question last week was, will Boots get the credit he deserves? And I guess in some ways he has, in some ways he still has.
Yeah. I think it's more skewed towards the former. In terms of, I think he's got more credit than.
Yeah.
I did see some those comments of the humble pie and stuff. I did see some similar comments about we hold my hands up. He did what he had to do. Great performance. Blah blah.
Yeah.
He's ready for Virgil now. I saw a lot of those. Like he's ready to fight him now. But I think it's already. Yeah. Come on. These two were the same. About. They've been on the same trajectory. They're about ready. But yeah, I definitely saw more of that. So look, man, he's just got to continue knocking down what's in front of him. That's it, really. And eventually, it will be one of these so-called names. Not saying Bud, but in terms of like somewhat like a Virgil. Him and Virgil are 100% going to meet down the line in this timeline at some point. They will never. Look, they're about the same weight class, all that kind of stuff, same trajectory. Virgil and Boots will meet eventually. Like it's going to happen.
It's funny. There's two things I want to highlight here.
Yeah.
They were treating Boots like he's Ben Whittaker.
Oh man. In
the same way, that's the way they've been treating Boots.
It's mad because Whittaker generally plays into. We'll talk about it, but
Yeah.
he plays into that. Boots is quiet, very unassuming. All he tweets
Mhm.
about, it doesn't talk rec. Literally, all he
Training,
tweets about
sparring,
is
and
church
church.
and God, church, God, and trading. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, it confuses me.
yeah,
But then you look at so I'm trying to pin the criticism. I'm saying, okay, they
yeah.
criticize him for him getting hit in there. Virgil Ortiz has been getting hit way before Boots.
Way more. By the way, way more.
That was our criticism of Virgil Ortiz back then.
Virgil's been dropped. No.
Yes, but we've seen him face bruised, getting
Yep.
touched with shots,
Yep.
getting hit. Um,
Yeah,
but
it's not the same critique. They don't get the same
it's not.
criticisms.
They don't.
Is
Virgil
it a color
Ortiz.
thing?
Is it?
Is it a color thing?
I don't know what I don't know what Boots has done to get this hate trade is what I'm saying, because he's not loud, he's not flashy, he's not
Yeah.
the typical character that gets the hate.
Yeah.
So maybe it is an under. No, I'm joking.
Shout out to Uncle Soul, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Saul. That's
yeah, boy. I don't know, man. Because yeah, right. They never criticize Virgil for the fact that he gets hit a lot, and we've said it from jump that we want to see his defense tune up. But yeah, could be. Who knows? But yeah, I'm happy anyways. Great performance from my boy. He smoked it. Obviously, we talk about what's next, man. Look, the welterweight division. Look, no one beats him at 147. No one. No offense to Brian Norman Jr. and Mario Barrios, those are the other two champions. They're not going to put a dent in Boots. He's actually a big boy for this 147 division. I don't want to see him bother go for undisputed. I don't personally. I've said it before. I don't care.
You have.
I want him to move up now ASAP to an already frying division that is 154. He's ready for these 154 cats, bro. I think it's a problem for all of those guys up in that division. A serious problem. Seriously. So there's gonna be no issues with, like I said, he's too big for welterweight anyways. I don't know how he makes it, but he'll be right at home on 154. The killers there. Get right in the mix. We've got the big fights we want to see, whether it's Virgil Ortiz, whether it's Bud. I don't think Bud's gonna happen because Bud's chasing legacy guys. I don't think Spence will happen, but there's still guys like Tim Tszyu, Charlo's still about, Fundora, Bakram. There's guys there for him. Xander Zay, you know what I mean? It's a stacked division, and he only adds to it. So I don't care to see him go for undisputed. There's nothing left to prove. There's nothing to prove at 147. Stanionis was the next best guy. He took him, washed him. What's left? Brian Norman Jr. Look, Brian Norman Jr., Mario Barrios, Conor Ben, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. None of these guys want to see him. Let's be real.
Yeah. Look, for me, if I was his manager advisor, I'll tell him to go get undisputed. As a fan,
I know you said yeah.
As a fan, move up. I want to see him tested. I want to see good fights. Yeah, that's what I want to see. But I think it's that undisputed is easy pickings. Easy pickings for him. So,
easiest undisputed in history.
He's been active, so he can go grab another one before the end of the year, grab another one early next year, and move up then. So
still like 27.
Yeah, he's in 12 months. And you could be undisputed and fighting at 154, even sooner, possibly, with the way Eddie's been rolling. Because it felt like only a few months ago they signed Boots. Now he's had 3 fights with them already.
Yeah.
So they're rolling him out. This was in Philly again. No.
This was at Atlantic City.
Yeah, this is Atlantic.
Not too far from City, but yeah, it's not too far.
It's had 2 in Philly. Yeah. So look, they're managing it well. So I know they're gonna try and grab that undisputed, and then. But if you're struggling with weight, then move up. There's no need to. You don't have to.
Don't kill yourself. Don't waste. Look, we could Spence and Bud would, especially Spence. He was down there too long, and in the end, I think he just didn't look. It wasn't the best for him in the end. So there's no need to kill yourself for guys that, again, yes, I know undisputed. I love undisputed. It is a great flex to have, but does it make sense stylistically, not only financially but legacy wise, especially when if Bud and Cole were still at 147, I'd say stay because these are legacy fights. But it's a Mario Barrios, no offense, and a Brian Norman Jr. Like good fighters, but just they're not gonna move the needle. I don't think they'll test him. And yeah, if these guys are listening, prove me wrong, but I don't think so. So
But
yeah,
same time, actually, yeah, the critics are going to be critics regardless. I was thinking Undisputed could shut them up, but it won't. No,
it
they will
won't.
just
No,
discredit.
no, no.
discredit.
The agenda is you ducked Ortiz that time,
Yeah,
so now they feel like he's scared of Virgil Ortiz. So until he fights him, or goes and fights a Bud or someone they respect, Spence maybe, Charlo maybe, they will say he's either weight bullying or he's hiding at 147. That's what the agenda will be now. So yeah, fighting those guys ain't gonna move the needle to the casuals anyways. But yeah, big up Boots, man. It's my guy. I can't wait to see what's next. But yeah, listeners, if you haven't watched that fight, go treat yourself to a masterclass, a beatdown. Um, let's talk about next week, bro. We've already mentioned him, I guess, but yeah, let's segue over to him, Mr. Ben Whittaker. Now, Flowz, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we talked about David Adeleye, right? And just him embracing that villain, that hero mentality. And when I think of people that embrace that hero mentality, I don't need to look more further than Mr. Ben Whittaker, bro, the surgeon, because he's fully embraced it. And you know me, I love a good villain. I'm not ashamed to admit I love a good villain. And obviously, we know that the hate train. We talk about hate trains. This is one of the strongest hate trains in the UK right now, Mr. Whittaker. Like, what are top 3 UK hate trains? AJ's up there, I reckon.
Conor Ben.
Conor Ben, and Conor Ben. Whittaker's got to be up there now. And this, or is Eubank still higher than Whittaker?
Classic 3 hate trade has been getting steam in the last few years.
Yeah. It's calmed down a little bit though, because obviously he's been quiet. So
yeah, and he's been treated.
Yeah. AJ's is still strong in my opinion. I reckon AJ's is still strong. Yeah.
I'll say Conor Ben, Conor Head. Slander names kill me. Conor Head, and Ben Whittaker's right in there because
but he's definitely in the mix, bro. Definitely in the mix. And Adelaide's is growing now. Oh, Okoli's was strong. Okoli's was strong. Okoli's was
Okoli.
Woo!
The prime Okoli hate trade.
Okoli. Yeah, that was elite. That one was elite still. Boy, he was different. Oh yeah, the Okoli hate trade was serious. Prime Okoli. Yeah. The streets will never forget. But yeah, Ben Whittaker's one is strong. And obviously, we saw what happened in the first fight between Liam Cameron, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of the most embarrassing things, to be honest. He did his whole show, but he was getting cooked, and he did the old fake injury. Fake injury out his way. It was the fact the way he would, bro. I know you was tears. You said the way he was lying down for like 5 minutes, and then wheelchaired out the stadium.
No, I was at the stadium.
Yeah, you said you couldn't believe it. I remember you said this is mad. So,
oh man, it's both the top rope.
Bro, they tossed him over the top rope like in the Royal Rumble. Then he was injured for 5 minutes on the floor when playing about his ankle. When we saw the replay, nothing happened. It didn't look like he fell on his ankle at all, by the way. So it definitely looked like a fake injury to me. And then the wheelchair thing, it was mad. And then obviously the fact that to us it looked like he didn't have any heart and he wanted to get out of there. So he looked for any excuse to get out of there. So that's why he feigned the injury. But we said you're gonna have to run it back for your dignity. You have to run this back. So I was happy when it was announced. And since then, obviously, he's embraced this villain even more, bro. Obviously, I've seen some of the preamble being hella disrespectful to Cameron. Before we saw him, bro, the Instagram arguing, flexing on fans and comments on Instagram comments, money flexing, by the way.
A rookie, no belts, no nothing. Anyway,
yeah. So Whittaker recently, this heel turn has been quite entertaining to see, but at the end of the day, bro, he has to deliver on Sunday. It's on Sunday, yeah. He has to deliver on Sunday. against a guy that is meant to be levels beneath him, as he said. Um, so yeah. And if the thing is, obviously, when I see the comments, they're all saying that, rooting for Cameron. Cameron's going to deal with him this time, this, that, this, that. I fully expect Whittaker, bro, to cook him, to cook him, to be honest, and then embrace and then rile up the fans even more. So I'm fully expecting him to do that. He has to be careful though, because obviously, as we've been following Ben Whittaker's career so far, on this pod, we pointed out the fact that this guy might not have no power, and that was apparent in the first fight between these two, where Cameron was just walking through his shots. So it's all well and good. Obviously, he can be a great boxer as he is, but the lack of power is a bit. Is it a bit concerning to you, Flowz? A little bit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is because
Okay.
Cameron, he was catching Cameron, and he was trying to sit down on his shots in that fight. He
Yep.
was legit trying to, and Cameron was the one who was shifting in with his shots and
Yeah.
backing him up. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny to me because all this time, remember we posted clips of him showboating and saying, it's like Marmite. Everyone watching that fight was saying he should get right back to showboating because that's what works for him. Like him trying to box and go toe to toe, isn't his style. He's struggling. So that was killing me. They start calling for him to go back to what he knows best.
Boy.
And I think that's what he's going to do. Because that was his first fight in Riyadh. Was it Riyadh season? That fight
it was Riyadh season. Yeah, it was his debut in Riyadh season, I think.
Yeah. So I don't know if he was trying to impress Turkey or what, with showing he could just box or scrap. And maybe there was pressure in that sense. But he looked terrible. And for me, he lost.
Yeah.
So get back to showboating because yeah, whatever it is, gonna work that fight.
And you know what? It's funny because this has been. We'll talk about how boxing can be a life-changing sport. It's like obviously Cameron has overnight become a crowd favorite because of this fight. Like it's kind of changed Cameron's destiny too.
Yeah,
Bro went and got a new hairline. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, new hairline, bro. Hey, we saw Andy Ruiz change his life around.
it was the next week, maybe even the next day. He signed with Uncle Frank.
Yep, signed with Uncle Frank straight away. I'm seeing that signing bonus must be nice because he went and got a fresh new hairline straight away. Like he's really.
I've seen gold teeth.
And And the thing is, I remember saying this as well. Like Cameron, now you're gonna become a favorite. Embrace it. Ride this train till the wheels fall off. Because he's played up to it nicely. So that's what makes it such an intriguing fight. Again, I don't expect Cameron to win. I think Ben Whittaker will probably wash him. But yeah, he can definitely use his 15 minutes to better his career, and he already has, obviously, with signing with Frank Warren. And all he has to do is, to be honest, folks, all he has to do is give an energetic, passionate performance. And yeah, he's won in the public's eyes, if you know what I mean. So in fact, if he takes us to deep waters again and loses, again, he's won in the public's eyes. So because he's not meant to be here, let's be real. So he should keep doing what he's doing, Liam Cameron. And I think Ben Whittaker's got to keep doing what he's doing in being the villain. But you can only be the villain if you're winning. That's it. That's the main point, right, Flowz? No point being the villain and losing all the time. In this game, be the villain and win is what's going to take you further and further and further. So I expect Whittaker to do the business. I'm guessing you're the same as well.
Yeah, I think even if he doesn't, I think he'll get the decision. But if it's sticky for him again, you have to take hold that L, and look, Paulo dives, run, cry, hide.
Yeah,
best go out there and win, man.
Word. Undercard consists of Fraser Clark making his return against Ebenezer Tete. I think that guy, he fought Dubois a couple of years ago. I feel like that Tete guy. Yeah. We got Lee Cutler versus Sam Eggington. I didn't know Sam Eggington was still going. And then we've got Tyler Denny. He's back in action against Elvis Ahorga. So interesting undercard. But yeah, definitely the main event is what we're gonna be looking in for. And yeah, this Whittaker's headlining, so big up Whittaker. And it's in Birmingham as well, which is basically where Whittaker's from in it. So yeah, be interested to see what the crowd is like. If they're pro Whittaker or pro Cameron, we'll see. Also that weekend, bro, Saturday, Matchroom also have a card as well. Got to mention that as well. It is Dalton Smith. He's up against a French Canadian called Mathieu Germain. Don't really know him. Never seen him fight before. 26 wins, 11 by KO, 2 losses. 35-year-old Canadian. I can see that he beat Steve Claggett in 2021. That's it that I recognize on his resume, anyways. Yeah, fully expect it's in Sheffield. Dalton Smith should come through this pretty easily, I suspect. Yeah, like I said, Dalton's ramping up to, I guess, a title shot, isn't he? Really, at this point, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, 140, right? You know, another, like I said, another loaded division. Yeah, that is his talk all cooled down. Don't think to happen anytime soon. But he's in his he's they did that. Yeah, maybe one at some point it will happen, but it's not right now. And I think Boxer knew they said not right now. But yeah, he's close, I think, to a title shot. So he's just got to keep winning, and I expect him to win this pretty comfortably. On the undercard, people that are worth mentioning, and Josh Padley is fighting on the undercard. And also, bro, I can see that again. I was surprised. I thought he called it a day, but he won't. The return of Josh Warrington. He's also on the undercard. One of your favorites, I know. He's fighting a guy called Asad Asif Khan. 19 fights, 6 losses, 1 draw. Yeah, this is Warrington's coming off the back of 3 losses back to back. So yeah, I guess he's trying to get one final payday, perhaps. But I thought he would have called it a day after that last loss against Kakache, but evidently not. So yeah, I'm not going to be looking. I'm not going to watch Josh Warrington fight, to be honest. I'll be more focused on Dalton. But yeah, let him do his thing. But yeah, that's it, Flowz. That's it, man. In terms of
what else can I see? I can see. Confirm this for me, please.
Okay.
Actually, Kovalev's been fighting. Actually,
Kovalev has been fighting. Yeah.
He has.
Is he fighting next week?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh dear.
Against, let's see, Michael Hunter versus Chris Lovejoy is happening. What's happened to Michael Hunter, man?
Hey, man, Hunter could have been the one,
He beat McCauley once upon a time. He went close with. Who did he go close with? No, he didn't fight Usyk.
He beat McCauley. He had a great fight against. I know you're talking about. Let me find it now. Hang on. It was against. You're talking about the Povetkin fight. They drew.
Yeah. Povetkin. Yeah. Once upon a time. Yeah.
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 I thought when watching that, I think he might have won that fight, but they gave it a draw. But yeah.
He's just out the mix almost without taking an L recently.
No, what? Yeah, to Usyk, but that's about it. Yeah. He's a good fight. He was tough fighter, man. Very good fighter. But yeah.
Anyway, let's see.
This Kovalev fight is meant to be a farewell fight, supposedly.
That's fair. He deserves it.
Yeah. So he's trying to get that win. Yeah. And they're fighting in his hometown, I think. So, yeah, he's trying to sign off with a win and then call it a day. Yeah, I mean, Kovalev at one point was the best light heavy in the world. So, yeah,
he was.
He's never the same. Never the same when Ward took his chain, though. Never the same. Okay. Never the same after that. But yeah, cool. I think we can wrap it up then. Cool. This has been episode 143. Of the Chat Season podcast. Once again, your boy Kam.
I'm your boy Flowz.
And as always, you know to find us on the streaming platforms. Peace.
You taking a strap? I'm strapped up.
What was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.